Good day, viewers worldwide, my fellow rishas, my fellow deities, fellow gods and goddesses. I would like to use this opportunity to thank the Yoruba race worldwide for the new year and the World Ifa Festival. So today, I've been receiving questions. I've been receiving questions on the things I've been preaching. You understand? And um there's this particular question that have been coming up on my page, for a while. People have been asking me, you said we are gods, that we've forgotten our origin and how we came here. So people have been asking me, how do we go back to our original state? How do we attain our original bodies? So that's the topic of discussion today, and I'm going to explain it to you. Now, today I'll be talking about evolution and the path of initiation. What is evolution? Evolution is the unfolding of consciousness or the expanding of consciousness into a higher state. You understand? Evolution, when you are evolution is like from matter to spirit. Then the evolution is like from spirit to matter, that is descending. So evolution is matter, that is we humans, we are going back to spirit, not like we won't have a form, but we are bringing heaven to earth. We are going to embody heaven on earth. We are going to remain on earth but in heaven. You understand? So that's what I mean by that. Evolution is the expansion of consciousness into a higher state. You understand? There are many abilities that we acquire. I'm not even talking about the abilities that we acquire. The main purpose of evolution is to increase our perception of reality, our awareness. You understand? To be able to view the multi-dimensional realities of life. That's one of the purpose of evolution, for expansion, for perfection of the creation. You understand? Now, the paths that leaded to the master in heaven, or the paths that leaded to the inner man, is what they call the path of initiation. And there are 5 stages, or let me say 7 stages of initiation. Yes, there are 7 stages of initiation. And initiation is not done in the physical world. Initiation is done in the spiritual world or in the astral realm. That's where you take initiation. So I've seen many people going for Ifa initiation. To me, I believe the tradition is outdated. Real initiation is taken internally, not externally. Yes, because I've experienced some. You understand? So when I see people going for Itefa, going for Ifa initiation, most of them, after doing that, they don't really experience they don't really experience the energy or the spiritual energy. So it's not just about doing the initiation. Initiations are taken in the astral body. The soul chooses the initiation, not the physical man. We don't choose initiation. We don't say, okay, today I have 900,000 naira. Today I have 400,000 naira. I'm going for a fire initiation. No, it doesn't work that way. Initiation is done by the soul, by the inner man. You understand? And the reason why the inner man chooses the initiation, because the inner man, the soul, it is the real man. It is the real man. You understand what I mean? Yes, because the soul is trying to take control of the physical body. That's the purpose first. When Jesus said, no one comes through the Father except through the Son. When he said the Son, he was talking about the soul. Man is in 3 ways: the body, soul, and spirit. This is the body. Then the soul is the animating force of the body. But as the soul is inside of us, the soul is not yet incarnated. The soul has not taken full possession of the body. And that is the first, or the main initiation. So now, the first initiation is the birth in the cave, which all of you know about Jesus Christ. It is an allegory. Jesus' life is an allegory for what happened in the soul of man, in the body of man. The first thing that happens is the birth of the spiritual life. You begin to experience spiritual life. You begin to experience spiritual life, the birth of the spiritual life. You begin to start to search. You begin to seek the meaning of your existence. You understand? You begin to seek the meaning of your existence. You begin to search. You know, before I started on this journey, I was so fully into music. I wanted to become a star, a musician, you know, the luxurious life, stuff, you know. But, you know, I don't know, something just came on me. Like, it was so sudden. I'm using my life as an example. It came on me, you understand? And I was like, wow. You understand? It was so like, I just beginning to start to search about life. Who is God? I begin to question reality. I begin to question things that, okay, why is things like this? That's the birth of a spiritual life. And the first part, that's the first initiation. You understand? You begin to go into spirituality. You begin to drop your old habits like smoking, drugs, probably humanizing and stuff like that. You begin to set yourself on the path to become a disciple. And you begin to have visions. Well, some people might not really experience visions, but you know, evolution for each and every one of us is different. You understand? But you begin to seek, you begin to question, you begin to read books, occult books, you begin to question reality. Why is this like this? Why is this like this? You begin to question. That's the birth of spiritual life. As I've said, I'm not a religious person. Yes, I'm not a religious person because religion is not uniting us. Imagine how can we have like several religions and you want the world to be in order. The Yoruba spiritual practice is not a religion. Yoruba contains Ifa. Religion is in Ifa. Religion is inside Ifa, but Ifa itself is not a religion. You understand what I'm saying? So the birth of the spiritual life or the birth of the spirit life in the cave, that is, the Kundalini becomes awakened. It begins to search truth. It begins to give you inspiration. So that is the first initiation, the birth. You begin to start seeking. You begin to start seeking the meaning to the existence of your own life. Now, the second part of initiation is called the baptism. Now, when I say baptism, I'm not talking about you going to a church and do a reborn like the way people will say. No, that's not what I mean. Baptism is the purification of the astral body. What I mean by the astral body is the emotional body and the desire body. For you to gain the ability to travel between lower and upper dimensions, the first prerequisite for you is to stabilize the astral body. When Jesus walked on water in the Bible, it was not something that happened physically. Jesus was able to walk on water because he has purified his emotional body. He has gained control of his astral body. That is, now, because in spirituality, water means your emotions. Water means emotions. And Jesus was able to walk on water because he has purified his astral body. He has purified his emotional body. Now, he's a master. He has gained the ability to travel between realms, because before you gain the ability to travel, or before you gain the ability to travel, you know, the astral realm, you must first purify the astral body, the emotional body, because, see, there are many things you will see in the astral world. The astral world is the world of emotions, the world of desires, where you can see people's emotions, people's desires. And that is where prophecy comes from. A true prophet is a person that tells the truth, or is a person that is able to alter his consciousness and goes into the astral world to bring information about his clients back to the real world. You understand? So we need to purify the emotions, the emotional body. The waters needs to be calmed. And this is one of the difficult parts, because the initiate, you understand, the initiate becomes so overwhelmed with the things of life. It becomes so overwhelmed. So the first part is the purification of the astral body, the purification of the purification of the emotional body. Now, the third initiation is called transfiguration. Transfiguration is when we are already in a high degree. The emotional body is stable, the emotional body is pure, the mental body is stable, which can be used to stand this strain of knowing. You understand? Stand the strain of knowing. Now, in the third initiation, that is when the inner self, the real man, the original self, we can call the original self the Lord of the world. We can call the original self the monad. We can call the original self Olodumare. And that is the part of you that has ascended in a past life, your first self. You come in contact with your original self, the original you, which is a part of God and which is also God. So you become transfigured. The whole body is bathed with light from above. The whole body is bathed with light from above. You understand what I'm saying? You become transfigured, and that is when the original self begins to guide the soul. Because at the first two initiations, the soul's work or the mission is to take full control of the physical body of the initiate. You understand? So the third initiation is termed transfiguration. Transfiguration, hereby the soul of the initiate comes in direct contact with the original self. Is the third initiation. The whole initiate there will be light. You'll be flooded with light in the third initiation. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the fourth initiation is termed resurrection. In this initiation, you've given up everything, all your desires. You've given up all your desires, and your will becomes the will of God. When I say God, your original self, your perfected self. You no longer have the desire of your own. You and God are sharing the same will. You have the same will. The Bible says, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. This is what it is talking about. This is the great work of all humanity. So it is like the original self is trying to gain control of the lower nature to bring it into full consummation into himself. You understand? The inner God, the original self that has existed in different earths, in different universes. You understand me? So now, the fifth initiation is the union between the soul and God. Yes. You become one. You fuse into one. That is, the monad descends into the physical body of the initiate. You become one. You become one with God. So that is it. You become one. But this initiation, it might not take the same lifetime. It depends on the level of evolution of the monad or of your original self. Some people might take the second and third initiation on this earth and probably take the last two initiations in another earth or in another world. You understand what I'm saying? So now, the fifth initiation is the most important part. It's the last phase. You become one. You become a perfected adept. What is an adept? An adept is a being who has chosen to grow in consummation with his inner God. Yes, because Olodumare himself is an adept. He has obtained. What is adept? What is, they say in Latin, adeptus? It means one who has obtained the highest knowledge, the highest wisdom, alchemical knowledge. That is, when you join, the part of evolution, part of initiation, during the second, third, and fourth, and fifth initiation, your body begins to change. The kundalini in your body begins to rise. You understand? The python, the snake, the serpentine snake beneath the spinal cord begins to rise up. Until when it fully gets to the pineal gland and to the crown chakra. When it gets to the crown chakra, it symbolizes enlightenment. That is, you are one with God. You become one with your creator. Because each and every one has his own creator. So, my people, this is the part of evolution. This is the great work, my people. So, evolution takes time. Each and every one has his own time. But this is the part. So, the first initiation is the birth of the spiritual life. You begin to seek answers. You begin to read books about your existence. Why? You begin to question things. The second initiation is baptism. That is purification of the astral body. The waters, the emotional waters that is very turbulent. It is meant to build you for the next initiation. That was why Jesus was able to walk on the water. That was why Jesus' disciple he sank. Because he has not yet gained the ability to astral travel. He has not yet purified his emotional body. That was the reason why he sank. He was saying, Lord, help me, help me. So, baptism, the purification or the stabilization of the emotional body. You understand? And once you gain that, you gain the ability to astral travel. To bring in prophecy from higher dimensions. Then once the initiate has reached the high degree after some years, that's when you come in contact with your original self, the Lord of the world, the Ancient of Days. He's the one that will give you the third initiation, transfiguration. Because for you to stand in the front of God, you will be bathed with light from above. You will be changed. You'll be changed. Now, this is the time God will begin to guide the human. He begin to guide the soul of the man. Your will becomes the will of God. The fourth initiation is the death and the resurrection of the adept. Now, you don't have your own will again. Anything you do is the will of God on earth. It's just like Thoth, the Atlanta priest king, or it's just like Jesus Christ also. You understand what I'm saying? The death and the resurrection, your will becomes the will of God. Anything you do on earth, you are doing it for the Father. Then the fifth is union, the final act. The union between the soul and God. You become one. That is, God takes control of the physical body. He incarnates. That was why Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. We are supposed to embody heaven here on this earth. You're not supposed to die and go and meet heaven somewhere. Heaven is on earth. This earth is heaven. We are supposed to bring it down to earth. That is the great work. That is the work of all humanity. And that is what I have come to teach you people, to tell you people. Evolution is the path to attaining higher knowledge, to attaining the goal of union between man and God, to become one. That's theosis. Do you know what is theosis? Theosis is the art of becoming more like God, the evolution of the consciousness to become like God. And what is God? God is your original self. Yes, God is my original self that first existed. The first to attain alchemical knowledge. That is God. It's one that brought me here. Your God brought you here too. So I don't know why you go to a church to seek for an external God when God is within you. You need to look within. Become and know that you are God. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening, and I hope you've gained one or two from my teaching today. I wish you all well on your spiritual path, and I pray you all have your heart desires and your thoughts. I pray everything comes true. I pray for people looking for the fruit of the womb. I pray you receive what you desire. People looking for job, people looking for their means to make ends meet. I pray you all look for what. I pray you all seek. I pray you all obtain what you are looking for. Bless.